What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com. Take two. Sorry about the video earlier, guys. Thank you to the ones who let me know. I don't know what happened. I guess the mic was muted. I've got an external mic that I use most of the time, and that's just because when I'm not at my office or upstairs in my home office where I've got a full setup with dedicated mics and everything to make it sound good, I will usually travel and do mobile stuff about 80% of the time with a mobile mic kind of like this that'll clip on. And that way, just so you guys can hear me better. And I did not realize that having the wrong setting based on what you have it hooked into would automatically mute it. So I figured that out the hard way today, recorded a long video, a lot of information, 5 different free plays, and it didn't go as planned. Because I get it, and nobody can hear anything. It's just 20 something minutes of nothing, just my mouth moving. So I'm sorry about that, but thanks to everyone that let me know. So that way I can at least get you a couple of free plays out, tell you what we've got going on. The lifetime all access pass, where we were doing 5 spots for only $2,000. Again, keep in mind the 1-year all access pass costs $7,000. If you bought everything separately, individually, you'd spend $20,000 a year. So the $7,000 is beyond a steal. But we always do it for $7,000 or $5,000 if anybody is extending. They're coming off of a year all access and they want to extend for another year, which is so far out of the hundreds of people that have done it so far, we've had less than 10 not re-sign up. About half of that number has been people that we did not allow to re-sign up, just because we caught them giving out plays on social media, acting as if they were those trying to start their own service and basically make money off of my information. And there's been other people that are just the type of clients that nobody wants. So if you're just an absolute degenerate gambler that expects every single game to be a winner 100% of the time, never, ever, ever be a loss. You can win 20 in a row, which there was times where we would, and then you lose one game and they're sending you, a dozen emails over 48 hours, just, belligerently rambling on about how they hope your family gets caught in a house fire. Then no, we don't want you. So again, but we've decided on behalf of Jeff. And again, I'm going to touch on this more in depth tomorrow, but we're going to do 5 spots, possibly 10. We're going to see how fast the 5 go, whether you're on an all access pass now or coming off of one, or you've been on one before, or you were thinking about buying one, and you would rather just become a lifetime all access member where you pay this one fee and you never buy anything else again. You get every game of the week, month, year for free, every sport, every season. There's literally never going to be a pick that you don't have full access to, and you'll never have to buy it. It's this one fee, one time only, and you're a member indefinitely till the end. So, to be able to do that, again, it's usually $7,000 for the year, $5,000 if you are a returning all access member. But we're going to allow 5 people, again, possibly 10. We'll see how fast these 5 go, on behalf of Jeff Watkins, to our great friend and longtime client who unexpectedly passed away here just very recently, and very young too, 51 years old. So a great investor, somebody that turned this from a hobby that they wanted to take seriously to probably one of the most successful investors that I've ever had the pleasure of truly being able to follow his journey from start to finish and see that he's doing it to the point where his profit margins were absurd. And he learned so much about it, where he probably could have gone out by himself without me at this point and been worlds better than 99% of the self-proclaimed experts and cappers out there. So again, heart goes out to his family. I'm still in shock and just devastated over the news, but I wanted to do something. So we're working with getting information from a couple of different organizations and charities where we want to donate some money on his, with his name, on his behalf, like kind of in memory of him. So the money that we take in from this, minus the credit card processing fees, which we're basically going to keep 10% of the what we charge to cover credit card processing fees, as well as the security that everybody's account on the site gets. It's monitored 24/7, 365, to ensure that nobody's like hacking into anybody's account and all that stuff. Standard website stuff that everybody has. But instead of paying $7,000 or $5,000, or what normal people would pay for a year, we only allow 3 people a year to be invited to be all access members. Up until this point, everybody's paid $10,000 minus a certain few, Jeff being one of them, because this was his idea, his creation, I guess you would say. First time we've ever had a client really influence and create something from start to finish. But we're not even going to do it. We're not going to do it for that. We're not even going to do it for the price of a year. We're not even going to do it for the discounted price of a year. We're going to do it for $2,000. Now, $2,000, again, not just anybody can have it. I mean, obviously, we're not going to have somebody send us something and, their Twitter profile has no profile picture. It was created within the last 24, 48 hours. They have no followers. And, because then we can just kind of tell that you're probably someone at another service or somebody just wanting to Listen, we've had people actually spend $7,000 on an all access membership just so they can get my plays and give them out as their own. I mean, again, you win in like that, you'll make your $7,000 back in a week. So probably the best investment you'll ever make to be able to then quote unquote create your own service. So again, we're going to do that, but we're going to do everything for $2,000. Now, if you want to DM me on Twitter, we're going to have a dedicated email set up for stuff like this, but it won't be ready until sometime next week when IT gets back in the office. We did get approved for the new office, so we're in transition of moving there, as well as resetting up my home office too. So there's just a lot going on right now. That's why you haven't seen me, but a few times at the beginning of the week. But if you want to DM me on Twitter to go ahead and claim one of the 5 spots, you can. My information's in the description, and I will get you set up. But you can do it for $2,000, or if you decide, listen, I've never had an all access pass long term, maybe no more than a month or so. So I don't want to do the whole $2,000. Let me just do a year. I'll do it for $1,500 on his behalf, and again, we'll take $150 out of that to cover the processing fees and stuff like that. The rest of it will get put into a pool, and once we get everything done, after we decide, we've got 4 or 5 different charities we're looking at now, what we think would be the best based on his interest and what he really cared about in life, to just do something in his memory. And we just want to make sure that it goes to a place that we feel like it's making the biggest impact, or that he would be the most proud of being affiliated with. So again, going to work with his wife on that too, and kind of see where she thinks, just to make sure we make the right decision there. But anyway, so $2,000 you get a lifetime membership, or $1,500 you can get a 1-year membership. And again, that's all access. You get everything. There's nothing you don't have access to. You don't have to buy any games of the week or anything. They're all included. You get everything. NASCAR, all of it. Speaking of games of the week, as I announced a few hours ago, sorry that you couldn't hear it, but there is a game of the week going on tonight in college basketball. If you're on the email list or on that, you already see it. You've already bought it. If you're an all-access member, you've already got it and wagered it. It is a later game. Again, I won't tell you what game or what time it starts. Just say this, that with the games that have gone on so far today, games have gotten pushed back to later start times. We're assuming this game is going to start somewhere in and around 9 o'clock, somewhere between 9 and 9:30 probably. Could be later, could be a little bit later, but we're assuming that. So we're saying try to buy it by 9 o'clock. We will do a last call on Twitter and an email list letting you know that, hey, this is the last chance you have, and we'll probably do that anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes before the link gets pulled down. But rule of thumb, just try to get it done before 9 o'clock. That way you're safe. And again, it's $50. Winner, get 3 days of all plays and all sports absolutely free, premium and daily top plays. Crushed our game of the month the other day in the NHL. Crushed our game of the week right before that. Our March Madness game of the week or this week on UAB. We crushed that. So we've just been killing it. We're on pace to hit another goal this week. 23 units or more. We've only had one day where we did not profit, and that was on Friday. We picked up money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we're going to do it again today. If if you are a part of the VIP membership, then you would have gotten this anyway. But my Tar Heels did it, knocked off number 1 Baylor in dominant fashion. While they did get a bit lazy and started taking some careless threes there in the second half to, let a 25-point lead get dwindled down, it was almost expected. I even talked about that in that video about how they probably go on a bad run and end up, if they had a lead, either giving up that lead or they would take being down and keeping the game within 2 or 3 points to being down double digits. And it was going to take fair calling, and it was going to take Hubert getting on the boys like Roy would, and them playing smart and just doing what they do and letting Armando go to town with rebounding, and they can win this game. And by God, they won it. So they're going to the Sweet 16 in Philly next Friday. Hopefully we'll see you guys there. I'll keep you updated on that information based on when we leave, where we're staying, all that stuff if you are in Philly. So keep that in mind. Again, we've got the game of the week going tonight. Make sure you get on that. It is a college basketball game, but I'm not going to tell you whether it's March Madness or NIT or CBI, anything like that. Just know that there could be another one tomorrow, because what tournament is tonight that's being played, the one for tomorrow is in a different tournament. So I talked to the team. I said, why would we not? Because, again, if it was regular season, you wouldn't do that. It's just, again, one game of the week for the sport, college basketball. But if you've got a separate, and once you get to this time, NIT versus NCAA tournament might as well be college versus pro, or, D1 college ball versus high school or junior college ball. It's two different worlds. So why would you not release them as that and play them as they should be, instead of backing it down to a daily top play or so on and so forth? So again, if it ranks out, once there is, all the information is out. The official line is already out, but still waiting on some information, because, again, the game for tomorrow, those teams have played within the last 48 hours, so we want to make sure that the right call is being made there. But there could be 2 back-to-back big releases in college basketball. Remember, NCAA tournament stuff for daily top plays all the way through game of the year plays are being upped unit size. So again, when you see a game of the week for the NCAA tournament, it's not 5 units, it's 7 units, just like UAB was earlier in the week. If you have a NIT game of the week, then it stays at its normal 5 units. It doesn't go up. Again, same thing with daily top plays and all that. So we do have daily top plays going tonight. Somewhat later action. 2 of them. One of them is in an NCAA tournament game. So you'll have 1 3-unit game for a daily top play, and you'll also have 1 5-unit daily top play in college basketball. You can get those for $50. You can get those just by buying the daily membership pass, or the daily top play membership, or if you buy a 3, 7, or 30-day all sports pass, or the March Madness passes, whichever you want, you get those included, plus all of the premium action going. We've already cashed in a premium play, or not a premium play, a VIP play, because we did take UNC today plus the points there. That was not a premium play by any means. Did not release that on the premium card. And but anyway, did well. Obviously, we did hit 1 hockey game that was also a VIP play by a half goal. And then we've got 2 late games coming up. So the Red Wings and the Kraken, and the Rangers and the Lightning. Rangers Lightning's at 8:05. The other one's at 10:05. We've got to play in both of those. We've got plenty of NBA action starting. More NBA action starting at 7 o'clock. And then we've got plenty of NCAA action going. And, of course, that big game of the week and the 2 daily top plays. We're only this far away from, literally, if we have this tonight and a possible double release tomorrow, because we're also looking at the NBA game we've been hitting around all week, which as of right this moment is sitting at a game of the week. But again, that could change. We get more information. We figure out who the starters are going to be, if anybody's going to rest, if anybody's going to be on day-to-day protocol. Then that could go down to a daily top play or a premium play. Or it could get elevated to a game of the month. We don't know yet. We probably won't know till later tonight. But if there would be a double release tomorrow, plus tonight's game of the week in the daily top plays, we could blow through our goal of 23 units of pure profit this week before the sun even begins to set tomorrow. And again, that'll be 3 or 4 straight weeks of hitting that goal. And again, we will lock in what would inevitably be a 3rd consecutive great month to kick off 2022. And we will still be on pace, beyond on pace, to have the biggest year of pure profit ever. And so that's what we're shooting for. So make sure you join us. March Madness packages, normal one $99. You want the all access that includes all of the games of the week, month, year type plays, NIT, CBI, and NCAA tournaments. That's $199. You can get all this stuff as well as the remainder of the NHL season or NBA season. All of that is on sale for till I say for those discounts that are posted, and they are on sale till midnight on Sunday tomorrow night. So let's get on some free plays while we still can get you on those. Again, sorry about the other video. That'll be taken off the site or off of YouTube soon. I apologize. Trust me, it wasn't by choice. Now, I mean, that basically was just an hour and a half of my time and the team's time just completely fucking wasted. So I apologize. But let's get into some action for tonight. I tell you what I like. I like New Orleans versus... No, I tell you what. I'm going to scratch that. I'm going to scratch that game because, again, we're going to do one of those on YouTube. The VIP members play. I've also got a premium play in that game. So I've got a side play and a totals play on that game. Again, you know how to get them now. But let's talk about this. Let's go to the Pistons and the Cavaliers tonight, 8 o'clock. I like the Pistons. I want you to do this for a half unit as a lean. Again, it's not something that, in my eyes, is worth a premium play yet. It could be, but I just don't think that we're getting quite enough. If we were getting 8, this would be a premium play all day, every day, no questions asked. But right now, Detroit Pistons at 6.5 are getting 6.5, and you got to lay $1.15. There's not an overwhelming edge there or a ton of value, but definitely enough to invest in because I think these two teams are more of a mirror image of each other than really anybody gives them credit for being. Everybody thinks that in the NBA, based on the way things are portrayed, that these teams are polar opposites. But there are so many instances where teams are the spitting image of each other, and it never gets talked about. I don't think there's any that are more so like that than Detroit and Cleveland. So for that reason, if Detroit comes out and plays like its hair's on fire the first half and controls the pace and builds a little lead, this is a game that I think they go on the road and win outright. But again, I still have to go with the obvious here that Cleveland is the slightly better team, especially at home. So I think the safer bet, we'll just back it to a half unit. So for most of my clients, that'll be about a a 2-win $500 play. Because a full unit, if we were to up it to that, you'd be betting to win a dime. But I think a $500 or half unit investment, whatever your half unit is, at the Detroit plus 6.5 at $1.15 is solid enough for a strong lean. And then outside of that, I do like the Lightning in regulation tonight. You're only going to lay $1.40 to do it. And while they don't have the best choice of goaltender going in, and I think that New York has one of their better options, I do think that being home, being the fact that the Lightning are not, skating on such tired legs right now based on they haven't had that hectic of a week. Really, they haven't had that hectic of the last 2 weeks where they've been able to come out rested and ready to go enough to play on any given night. Now they're at home. I think New York has actually had a tougher go of it the last week. And I think for that, just the home ice, just the crowd atmosphere, and just the fact that this late in the season we know what we're getting in terms of contender and non-contender, I think this is one of those games where all it takes is the Lightning not making a stupid mistake and playing like shit or just not playing at all for them to be able to win and win by, truthfully, I think they could win, this would be like a 4-2 game in regulation, maybe a 5-3 game. But again, I'm not going to take the risk just to try to get a little plus money out of a game that inherently isn't that, doesn't really have that much of an edge or provide that much financial value. I think the best value you can get is to go a half unit on this one as well, but take it in regulation, only lay $1.40, and then let that be, between those two plays, you've got your 1 unit investment. And then as far as a premium play goes tonight, I do want to give you at least one premium play. And I tell you what, I'm going to have to go Gonzaga, 9.5. I'm going to have to, 9. It was 9.5. It opened at 10, then it was 9.5. We caught it at 9 about 20 minutes before we release the plays. It's still sitting at 9, just after 6 p.m., so hopefully you'll get it at that. If you get it at 9.5, that's fine. Make sure you're not laying over $1.10 for it, because then I feel like you're kind of getting screwed out of value. But right now, it's -9 at $1.15 at William Hill. That's what we locked it in at. If you look on paper, again, I know that they looked vulnerable in game 1 against Boise, but I do think that for the most part in the first half, I think they were doing it on purpose. Maybe, maybe not there right at the end. They were trying to turn it around and couldn't because they got too much into that type of rhythm. But if you look at it, they could with Boise. And now, yes, they looked vulnerable. Yes, they didn't look like the Gonzaga we know. And I've already told you, Gonzaga's not the best team in the country. I don't think they're the top one of the top 3 teams. I don't think that Auburn is truly a top 3 team, but I think Auburn's a better team than Gonzaga, and I think they prove it night in and night out based on who they play. You can't play in a shit conference like the West Coast Conference and convince me that you're a #1 team just because you don't lose, or you only lose 1 game. You lost to fucking St. Mary's at home. So what are you doing? I mean, I just don't buy their #1 team. I mean, again, if you listen to everybody, I mean, they're a #1 team every year. Well, then why are they not having any championship banners hung in the rafters? Why do you not see their head coach wearing a fat fucking rock on his finger? Because they're not the best team. You want to talk about a fresh wound? Let's go back to the time that they actually made it to the very end, where they went to the dance of all dances, the championship game in the Final Four. Who did they play? Oh, that's right. The Tar Heels, Roy Williams, Joel Berry Jr., Theo Pinson, and they beat the fuck out of them. Up and down the court, out-rebounded the best rebounding team that Jay Billis has ever seen in his life. He said it, not me. They out-rebounded them because Carolina basketball is always a better rebounder than anybody else if they're doing it correctly. That's why Armando Bacot's the best rebounder in the country, no matter who he plays, when he plays them, and that's why he single-handedly butt-fucked Baylor today. Hey, Bears, we're going to go make some money tonight, but I've got to take Gonzaga at -9 because, again, this is on paper. They should be a 16.5-point favorite. 16.5. Now, while if they try to go slow and get cute with Memphis, Hardaway's going to have his boys run and cram it down their throats. And you will see Gonzaga fall tonight just like Baylor did, just like Kentucky did, just like Tennessee's going to probably do. All of it. All of it. Again, Tennessee on paper today, great bet. I made it. But Tennessee, I even said it 2 days ago, they were probably going to not make it past the second round. And then on Twitter 2 days ago, I even said Tennessee will be an upset, I do believe. But again, I'm still going to bet what the numbers show. I don't care if it's a unit loss when I make back up 10 units on the back end. Again, you're going to give me a 16.5-point swing. I mean, not a swing, a 16.5-point what they should be favored. And you're going to give me a 7-point or a 7.5-point swing? Yeah, I'll take it. Especially NCAA tournament for a team that probably at this point wants a championship more so than any team that has ever been. The only thing that the media wants more than Gonzaga to win a championship is for Coach K to win it in his final season, to ride off into the sunset, to make for a good story that Master Splinter did it. Fucking rat. But, because I don't see that happening, because Duke is not the best team, even though I think they, with seeding and everything else and the way that the bracket's laid out, I think that they've got the best advantage to make it all the way to the Final Four. And if they make it to the Final Four, I do believe that Duke will crown themselves a champion, and hey, hats off to them, whatever. But outside of that, there's no coach, no team, and no other team that the media would want more to win a championship than Gonzaga. That's just a fact. So tonight, I don't think that they take this as lightly as Boise. I think they realize that they looked vulnerable. They can't look vulnerable anymore because after this, it's the Sweet 16. It's time to get serious, and you're going out there and playing the teams that have proven that they've got just as much, if not more, grit than you do. So they're going to have to go out here and shut shit down tonight. I'll take Gonzaga -9 at -$1.15 as your premium play. Your 2 lanes are there. Sorry about the other video. I love you guys. Go get on a huge game of the week winner. Go get on a winning package. package. Come join us long term. I'll take care of you on behalf of our great friend. I'll see you back for Sunday. We'll go deeper into it, talk about MLB coming up. Everybody's been asking me all these questions about players after the lockout. Trust me, I've got a lot to say on all of it, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. Love you guys. See you in the winner's circle.